Yo, what is going on YouTube? It is your boy Colt or Icon Ball back again. And I'm sorry I took a little like 3, 4 day break. It was Christmas, it was the holiday season. Had a lot of stuff to do with the fam. Speaking of that, I hope you guys had a good holiday season with your family and Christmas, and hopefully you got everything you wanted for Christmas, and hopefully you spent time with your family and just had an overall good time. I know I had a good holiday season. Um, I always enjoy Christmas time, and I hope you guys did as well. But anyways, today what we're gonna be coming back with is a just a creator class video that I use for S&D and stuff like that. If you guys want respawn class setups, I'll do that in the future at some point. But I mostly play S&D, so I will show you guys my classes that I use and what I think is if you're just getting into S&D or if you're getting into competitive search or something like that, maybe it could help. Maybe these classes will help you out. Um, for me, I mean, you just got to find your own. You know what I'm saying? Like you could find your own that works for you, but these classes are really really good and maybe it could help somebody out. So yeah, that's what we're gonna be doing today. First we're gonna start off with this class. This is the slower air class. It's kind of like a very very long range M4. It's a very it's not really meant for like up close, but I mean it can, of course. But um, these are the attachments I use. I use compensator, stock M16 grenadier. I use the Cronin LP mini reflex sight. The sight, like I said, the attachments is really like due to playstyle. But if this is a just like I said like a slower AR class, so yeah. Um, this is the attachments I use for it. Basically, these two help the compensator helps your recoil control a lot. So it beams at super super long range, and on the stock M16 grenadier is the same thing. It's like the barrel for super super long range. Because it decreases the mobility a lot and the movement speed and the ADS speed, but it also like at range and it helps with the recoil control and like it just helps everything with range. So like I said, this is a super slow AR class that you will beam long range with. The sight is up to you. You don't have to use a Cronin mini reflex. It's just a sight I personally enjoy. And even if you decide to use like no sight, like if you're an iron sight player and you want to use a super M4 class, maybe you could take off the mini reflex and throw on a stock like Forge Tack or any. Oh, probably Forge Tack would be your best for like a super slow AR kind of thing. Or yeah, that was probably the best stock you can use. But yeah, this is my super slow AR class. It has EOD, Point Man, and Battle Harden. Although on GB, the Point Man's like the only Point Man's only good on GB because on CMG and UMG and everything everywhere else, streaks are banned. So yeah, Point Man is really only for GB, and other than that, your perk 2 is kind of pointless, anyways. So, but yeah, I use EOD Point Man and Battle Harden. I used to use Tune Up, but people have been like rocking the stun metal a lot, like running stuns and flashes and stuff like that. So I switched back to Battle Harden, and I found it really useful. So yeah, and then of course I have a frag and a stun grenade. You can choose between a stun or a flash. I personally like the stun better, especially I feel like it comes more in handy because if I hard someone, they're stuck there for a while. Instead of if you flash somebody, they can like they can still like run away even though they can't see. They can still like get away with their lives and stuff like that. So yeah, that's my slow AR class. Moving on to my aggressive AR classes, like medium close range, and if you have a good shot, you can do it long range too. This is the class I use probably like 95% of the time, to be honest. I hardly ever use this class, but I have this class for certain situations. But yeah, this is my main AR class. like I said, I use the Chrono mini reflex sight. I use the no stock attachment. What that does for me is it helps your like strafe speed a lot. If that makes sense, like your ADS strafe speed, which is really good. Um, I use the Corvus custom marksman. It basically does the same thing as a grenadier, so it does the same thing as this, but it doesn't knock down the mobility as much as the M16 grenadier does. So you're still gonna get a lot of good. You're still gonna be able to kill super fast at range and have a decent mobility for up close and personal gunfights, which is super dope. And then I use the compensator again for recoil control. And then I use command of foregrip. The only difference is I don't use a rear grip on this class, and I replace it for a stock. But if like I said, if you're an iron sight player, what I would recommend for like an up close AR or fast AR is taking off maybe or obviously taking off the reflex and putting back on strip or stippled, and that way it increases your mobility. You get ADS speed and sprint to fire speed, and it will be really fast. But I like using the sight, so yeah, I just don't use a rear grip. But um, anyways, moving on to my fast subclass. I use double time on this class so I can get to places faster. It's like basically like a rush route class. If I have any intentions on rushing a lane or rushing to a important spot on the map, I use this class. But yeah, it just has double time and all the other same stuff. But what I use in my sub is monolithic suppressor, commando foregrip, 10 millimeter mags, granulated grip tape, and FSS close quarter stock. A lot of people use tripled with their sub. I don't like to, just due to the fact that I feel like the ADS time on subs is already good, in my personal opinion. Plus, I feel like yeah, the FSS close quarter stock helps the ADS speed too. But I use granulated um for the aiming stability, so it basically helps your accuracy on a sub, and vice versa to the ADS speed, if that makes sense. Um, yeah. The 10 millimeter mags, what this does is it helps with your damage at range. It drops your fire rate down a tad, but this is the best. This is probably like the most important attachment to use on your MP5 because if you don't put this on, I feel like the MP7 is better. So like the MP7 will be better at range. I think the MP5 still probably beats the MP7 up close without this attachment, but this attachment helps for range and stuff like that. So Commando foregrip, I personally use Commando foregrip on anything. It's my favorite foregrip. But what a lot of people do is they run Merc foregrip on the MP5 as well, just for the hip fire accuracy on it. I think it has a good hit fire already. But yeah, I would just use one of these two. If you're gonna go for a foregrip, use Commando or Merc, in my personal opinion. Other than that, yeah, I use the monolithic suppressor. It helps with damage range, obviously. I basically do stuff to help it kill faster at range and also with the accuracy. Because the FSS close quarter stock helps with the ADS speed enough to where it still aims in fast, but everything else basically helps range and making sure I can beam people long range with the submachine gun. And then the flak AR class is just the same thing as this, but with EOD instead, so I don't get naded. Stuff like that. It has the same attachments, and yeah. I hardly ever snipe, to be honest with you, but these are the perks I use. I still use monolithic suppressor. I use the. This is probably the best barrel for like, you know, super long range stuff like that. Even though snipers already kill long range, but making sure, just solidifying, making sure I don't get a hit marker at super long range and stuff like that. I use the bipod. Honestly, I didn't know what else to use because I didn't want to use tac laser. I didn't want people to see the green light on my the green light while I ADS, because that's what the tac laser does. Is if you ADS, the green light is visible and they'll be able to see it. So I don't know. I don't use it for that reason. I don't use variable zoom. I just use the default site, stuff like that. I could probably throw on variable zoom, but I don't know. I use the bipod just because if I go cross or prone, it helps with the recoil control there. But I mean, honestly, it's just like a dead attachment. Like I said, if you don't, it's something to throw on if you don't use a sight like me, stuff like that. I use the F-Tac Stalker Scout because it helps with ADS speed. If you guys don't know, in this game, the ADS speed on snipers is super slow on every single one of them. So I just use that to help with that. And then I use focus because um it helps with flinch as you get shot with the sniper, which is super important. So yeah, this is probably honestly, this is probably the most important attachment on a sniper in my personal opinion. Is focus. So yeah, those are my classes that I use for S&D all the time. Um, I forgot to go over the deagle, but those are my attachments. Um, yeah, I hardly ever use that class though, so I hardly ever use the deagle. But yeah, those are my classes for S&D. Like I said, if you guys like this video, I will do a respawn class setup in the future. Um, the only thing that's gonna change is probably taking off suppressor, putting on like muzzle or compensator, and yeah, like I said, I'll do that in a video later if you guys want to. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys had a good holiday Christmas with your family, like I said, and I hope you guys have a happy new year coming up here soon. Yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow in the next video. That will be the return of S&D and live comms and stuff like that. So, see ya later, boys.